So in this side, you can say that Q, that is heat transfer, is equal to Q dot into delta T. This Q dot means this is heat transfer rate into delta T. Or in other way, you can write it in the integral form, that is heat transfer, total amount of heat transfer is equal to heat transfer rate integration over 0 to delta T. That means for a given period of time, if you sum the heat transfer rate, then that will give you the total amount of heat transfer. So that's why this Q is given as Q dot into delta T, and this small q means this is heat flux, that is per unit area. Heat transfer rate is watt, per unit area is meter square. So Q dot, capital Q dot by A is known as your small q dot. So most of the time in heat transfer subject, we deal with the term called heat flux. Invariably, we will use the term heat flux. Okay. So now coming to your first law of thermodynamics, some sort of a recap of your thermodynamics subject. Now first law of thermodynamics, basically it's a principle of energy, conservation of energy. So energy neither be created nor be destroyed, only it changes its form. So that means total energy entering the system, if it is an open system, minus total energy leaving the system should be equal to change in total energy of the system. So that is what is the conservation of energy principle. So using that principle, we can write down these equations. Energy in minus energy out equal to the change of energy of the system. So the net change in total energy of the system during a process is equal to the difference of total energy entering and leaving the system. So that is what your conservation principle. It's some sort of your money transaction across a bank account is nothing but you're saving in the account. That means if you're putting more amount of money, if you're deriving less amount of money, then there is a increment of your balance. Or if you're doing the other way out, then there is a decrement of your balance. Same principle is holds good here. So the energy balance for any system undergoes any process is in the form of rate form. So that's why in heat transfer, now we will deal with this sort of equation, that is rate of heat transfer into the system minus rate of heat transfer leaving the system is equal to rate of change of energy of the system. So this is rate of change. So that is where the difference comes into picture with respect to the thermodynamics. In thermodynamics, the limitation is up to here only we will discuss. But in case of your heat transfer, we will discuss this one. That is rate of heat transfer. Now if it is steady in the sense variation with respect to time won't be there, that means the right hand side will be 0. That is d by dt of E system will be 0, means there is no change in energy content of the system with respect to time. That means whatever energy is coming, that amount is leaving. That means your balance is not increasing or decreasing. Whatever energy is entering, that same energy is leaving. So in that case, steady state equation which says energy rate of in equal to rate of energy out. So there is no change as such. So this is one sort of an example. There are different forms of energy which can enter or leave. So if there is a balance, then we can say that E dot in equal to E dot out. So in heat transfer problem, it is convenient to write a heat balance and to treat the conversion of nuclear, chemical, mechanical and electrical energy into thermal energy as heat generation. That's what we in generally carry out, because when you are doing any balance of your energy within the system also, there is a possibility of generation of energy. That's what in generally happens in case of your nuclear power plant. Because of your nuclear reaction, fission reaction, the energy liberates from the nuclear rods within the system itself. So that particular component of energy generated, which we can accumulate as a generation component within the system. So this particular term, because it's not across the boundary, it's within the system itself. So in such cases, we have to add an additional term, that is Q in minus Q out, that is the heat transfer component, plus there is some heat generation, is equal to nothing but your change in thermal energy of the system. So that is component we have to add as a generation component in case of your heat transfer equation. Now if you have a closed system, that means fixed mass, there is no mass transfer, only energy transfer is possible. Then the total energy for most of the system encountered in practice consists of internal energy, or the energy of the system, which is known as U. This is especially the case for stationary systems, since they don't involve any change in their velocity or elevation during the process. That is kinetic component, and the potential component is almost constant, or the variation is neglected. So for a stationary closed system, since there is no energy component which is mass component which is entering and leaving, so E in minus E out is nothing but your change of your internal energy of the system only. So for the stationary closed system, since there is no work because you don't have any mass transfer across the system boundary, so there is no VDP, only PDV work is there. So for a closed system, if there is no work, then we can write this heat transfer rate as mCV dt. Because this E in minus E out is nothing but gives rise to some sort of your heat change of the system or heat content of the system. So that's why we can write this for a closed system, Q equal to mCV dt. Now this is for your energy balance for a steady flow system. That means there is a flow, but that flow is steady. And most of the systems, whatever we will discuss in generally, we assume that the flow is steady as such. So in case of your water heaters and car radiator involve mass flow in and out of the system and are modeled as control volumes. And for such systems, we assume that the flow is steady in the sense the mass flow rate is constant. The magnitude of your mass flow rate entering is constant with respect to time, that is invariable with respect to time. The term steady means there is no change with time. Mass flow rate is amount of mass which is entering or leaving across the system boundary per unit time. Volume flow rate is volume, that is multiplication of density gives you mass flow rate. So that is what written here, m dot equal to rho into v into a, where v is the velocity, a is the cross-sectional area through which the flow is moving. This v dot, capital V dot, is your volume flow rate. There is a difference between this capital V and v dot. Here v dot means volume flow rate, capital V means velocity. So the volume flow rate is v into AC, which is nothing but mass flow rate by density. So this Q, which is equal to m dot into delta H in case of your open system, since in case of closed system it is m dot into delta U, but it is open system, this is m dot into delta H because it is a flow work is associated with that. So we can write this Q dot as m dot Cp delta T, m dot Cp delta T, since this is a open system. Now there are some incidents where there is an energy transfer from the surface. So for such cases, if you want to write your energy balance, again principle of energy balance is same. Whatever energy is coming to that particular surface, the same magnitude has to leave if it is allowing your energy to transfer across the control surface. So a surface contains no volume or mass, that's why there is no question of accumulation or liberation of energy from the surface itself. So only possibility is whatever is coming, that has to go out, and thus no energy is associated with the boundary. Therefore a surface can be viewed as a fictitious system whose energy content remains constant during a process. So energy content won't change. So surface energy balance is E in equal to E out. So this relation is valid for both steady as well as transient condition. In transient condition, what happens? This Q1 dot will change with time. then Q3 dot and Q2 dot will change with time. But at all the time, Q1 dot is equal to Q2 dot plus Q3 dot. So that's what the meaning of your surface energy balance. So at any time, there is no change with the relation. Magnitude wise they may change, but relation will not change. That is applicable for both steady as well as transient conditions. The surface energy balance does not involve heat generation since a surface does not have a volume. Most of the time, the energy generation is associated with volume, that is energy generation per unit volume. Like when you are saying that nuclear fission, that means you have to put a uranium rod and that will goes on decreasing its mass, and for each mass there is a unit, there is a energy generation. That means for each volume there is a generation is associated with that particular volume. But since we are counting the surface as no volume access, no mass access, so there is no question of generation here on the surface. So if you write down the balance equation, that will come out as Q1 dot equal to Q2 dot plus Q3 dot. So let us stop here for today's class. Next class we will discuss about your mechanisms of your heat transfer. Is there any doubt? Then we will discuss, otherwise we will discuss. Hello?
Sir?
Yeah, please.
Sir, can you please explain that m dot delta H, how it is converted into MCP delta T? The previous slide you explained.
Yeah, actually, yeah, look at this one. Is it visible? Hello?
No, sir.
Delta H is Cp into delta T.
Not visible.
Hello?
Unable to see your screen, sir.
Just a minute. I will share the screen. Now is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in this equation, delta H equal to Cp into delta T. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So now if you substitute that here, that is Q equal to m dot delta H. In place of delta H, we are writing Cp delta T. Or in other way, if you go by the definition of specific heat at constant pressure, it is written as rate of change of enthalpy with respect to temperature, keeping pressure constant. That is what the definition of your Cp, that is rate of change of enthalpy with respect to temperature, keeping pressure constant. So that means if you take a finite change of enthalpy and temperature, then delta H, which is finite change in enthalpy, can be written as Cp into delta T. So that particular thing we have substituted here, and we got an equation called m dot Cp delta T. This comes into picture only and when there is a flow work, that is open system. If it is a closed system, then there is no question of mass flow rate. So whatever energy is there, that is associated with your internal energy. And in case of your internal energy, the equation is written as change of internal energy is Cv into delta T. That's why here in this case, in a closed system, you are getting mCv delta T. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, Manivannan. Hello.
Sir.